All right, welcome everyone. I've got a very special guest with us. His name is Mr. David Morgan. He is a mindset coach. He helps people create the life they deserve by finding their true passion in life, by digging deep into their emotions to balance their mindset and connect with their inner peace. He has 27 years of leadership and coaching experience and has personally helped people reignite their dreams, fulfill their purpose, and unleash their inner potential by transforming their mindset. He has done his time in the corporate world with Dick's Sporting Goods and Marshalls in upper management roles, plus some non-profit management experience as well. He is one badass I've enjoyed to get to know over the last year, and he's like an older, much whiter version of Trent Shelton, in my opinion. So, Dave, is so excited about having you and looking forward to this time together. So, to get us started, tell us a little bit about what started you on the path of mindset coaching.
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much for the introduction, man. I really appreciate that. So, really, what got me started on this path for mindset coaching is just my path that I took in life. I
Okay.
really felt like throughout the years of my corporate jobs and throughout the years of nonprofit, I had something deeper inside that I wanted to bring out. And just through my opportunities that were given to me in my corporate jobs and in my nonprofit, I knew I wasn't even close to unleashing what was inside of me. I went through a really, really bad divorce.
Mm.
And those 16 years that I was married just really kickstarted my journey to realize that I could connect to my true passion and really help others get to theirs.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, that's really tough. I understand, especially going through a divorce like that. I mean, I went through one as well, and after being married for over 17 years,
Yep.
it was quite a tough experience. And so, what helped you uh, build that growth mindset, even in the midst of that? Because you talked like that was a bad 16 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a
So,
bad 16 years. It was a
was
tough
it
16 years.
was that mindset, was that happening in that process or after the divorce?
My mindset was gone during my marriage.
Okay.
You know, I, I was a shadow of a man during my marriage, and I didn't realize that until after I got out. I didn't
Okay.
realize that till after my rebuilding phase for myself really took off. And I
Okay.
really found the inner peace that I was looking for. And
Mhm.
that helped me connect with and strengthen my mindset as I was going through that process. And it just took off in all areas of my life. And it just really helped me open so many doors, not only to connect better with myself, but with other people.
No.
I'm Miles Street. I help nonprofit leaders launch and scale their nonprofit dreams.
Oh, that's cool. You know, my experience is similar, although my marriage wasn't bad. I
Uh-huh.
mean, um, but I'd lost myself
Yep.
completely.
Absolutely.
I didn't know who I was, and so I had to go through a phase of rediscovering myself, finding myself. And as a man, that's hard to believe.
Absolutely.
And in your experience, because I know you do work with a lot of other men, you work with people that are going through difficult divorces or difficult relationships and
Yes.
dealing with mindset stuff as they're doing that. So, how do you help people build that growth mindset?
The biggest way I help people build the growth mindset, and I'm hoping that this is something I can carry on and be able to do for the rest of my life, whether it's with coaching or just personal things outside of that. But I really just help them connect with who they want to be
Mm,
and where they want to go in their life. So many people that I work with are stuck in their past for whatever reason, and
mm,
they just don't know how to get out of it.
yeah.
And sometimes it just takes one opportunity to be able to have a conversation with somebody that's been through something similar to what they're going through that helps them change the way they look, not only themselves, but the world around them.
Oh,
So to get to that growth mindset, you really just have to dig deep and kind of peel back every layer that you have inside of you. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes years. A lot of people can't ever get to it. But as long as they start the journey and they continue the journey the whole entire time, they're going to eventually find it.
yeah. I mean, that is so true. It's something I really relate to myself as well, because in my personal journey with that, as I was coming out of it and rediscovering myself,
Hmm.
I was amazed at how I had to change my thinking process about myself.
Yes.
And that's one thing I think too that you work with people a lot as well as, and something I want you to kind of answer for us, because this is something I see when working with people a lot
Yep.
of, and this is how their brain plays tricks on them and how their brain is holding them back.
Hey, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel.
Yes, 100%. I love the question, and we're going to dive into it right now. So I call that what's called a negative loop in your brain.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Everyone has a loop in their brain, and it could either be stuck on negative and stuck on repeat. That keeps you in that negative space in your life. It keeps you in those dark times. And it's just like a roller coaster that goes around and around.
Yeah.
And you have to be the one that can stop it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to stop it, you're never going to get off.
No.
Well, a lot of people look at that negative loop in their brain as something that they're used to. And it's comfortable for them. So they don't want to get off, no matter how bad it is. No matter how scary it might be, they want to stay on that loop and just drive around because it's easier for them.
Yeah.
But if they can stop that negative loop, and if I can help them in any possible way, kind of look at that negative loop in one different way and just add one different, maybe I am statement or one different just growth phrase to be able to help them stop that loop and look at themselves differently, then they're going to be able to look at their insides first and really build their emotional stability in a much stronger way and get off that loop for good.
Yeah. So when you talk about that, that brings something up for me and something I've had to deal with for myself.
Yep.
And that negative loop or that negative message that I hear in my brain,
Yep.
you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know where that comes from. Okay. That comes from way from my past. It really, it doesn't come from my ex-wife. The reality is, and I'm not trying to it comes from my mother. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make her look bad. All right. I'm just gonna be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
And so as I started my process of moving forward, you know, even today, if I make a mistake, and here's a simple mistake I can make really easily. I suck at spelling, man.
Yep.
Spell check just doesn't even help me. It's that bad. It's that bad. And I'm working in a professional environment, and I'm producing training materials. I'm sending out professional emails, and I can and people have caught me. I can misspell stuff, and I don't even catch it. I don't see it. And I can remember as a child, my parents working with me and struggling with trying to figure out how to help me learn how to spell. And also that even digs a little bit deeper. I had to go through like remedial reading classes in elementary school.
Yep.
And still today, I love to read.
Yep.
And I consume books. But that spelling thing, I mean, and I can catch myself and I make a mistake and I don't see it and I find it later on. That real, you stupid idiot.
Yep.
That negative loop comes in my head, and I've had to work on changing that for myself.
Absolutely.
So what are some other examples of things that you've done for people that you've worked with, or for yourself? Maybe an example for yourself that you can share with the group.
Yeah, definitely. So one big thing that I do still to this day, and I teach a lot of people that I work with to do, is make kind of I don't want to say a journal, but just a thought process in your head where you're pretending to write yourself a letter. Okay. That's going to help you let go of things from your past. So when you're driving down the road, just pretend you're writing a letter in your mind. Just say it to yourself over and over. Hey, Dave, it's one of those things that I look back at my life 15 years ago and something went wrong. And I've been holding on to that one thing that went wrong from 15 years ago, and I can't let go of that. So what do I have to do to let go of that? I have to dig deep, and I have to find that one thing that held me back and make peace with it. And as I make peace with it, I'm going to pretend to write myself a letter. Hey, that one thing that held me back, I'm going to let it go for good. This is how I'm going to let it go. This is what I'm going to do to move forward. And this is how I'm not going to let that thing come back. I'm going to leave it here at the red light. I'm going to roll down my window, and I'm going to fake crumple up that piece of paper and fake throw it out the window. I'm going to drive away. And guess what? When I drive home from my commute later, that paper is not going to be there because it's gone. I don't have to think about it anymore.
That's powerful.
And that's one way I really help people get over their past. Because so many people just get stuck in one situation in their life and they let that negative loop play. And writing that fake letter to yourself is one way to throw that negative loop in the garbage.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's really
Definitely.
cool.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So as we think about mindset, and I did a episode recently on resiliency and efficiency with our friend Travis, you know it really well.
Absolutely.
And I see that resiliency and growth mindset, they kind of go together. And so what part does resiliency play with that?
Resiliency plays a lot with that. And I think the biggest part it plays with it is just to really continue to move forward and continue to be relentless and finding that one true thing that can really help you change your life. And you have to be resilient to do that. You can't give up.
Mm,
You can't back down. You have to fail at things in order to grow and move forward.
mm.
And that's where a lot of people also get stuck. They don't want to fail. They think they have to be perfect at everything they do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in this world that's perfect. And you can't succeed and become resilient and learn how to be relentless if you don't fall down and learn how to get back up.
Mm,
And sometimes you can't get back up until your growth mindset is strong enough to the point where it can pull you up, you can dust yourself off, and you can just realize that no matter what you do, as long as you're moving forward, that's the best thing that's going to help you get away from your past.
okay. Well, that's good. There's a lot there.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so that person,
Yeah.
they have the growth mindset.
Yep.
They're moving forward.
Yep.
They're not seeing the results that they think they're going to see. They're supposed to see.
Absolutely.
I've been in that place.
Definitely.
I could honestly say to the group, I'm in that place in
Yep.
some parts of in my coaching business at least.
Absolutely.
Not in my day-to-day stuff that I'm doing right now. So what do you say to those types of people?
To take a deep breath and give it time. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself is give yourself the time to grow and to heal.
Mm,
Because some people want to see immediate results. And we have to be in this coaching business and in this mindset business for the long game.
mm.
It's not a short overhaul.
Yeah.
This is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Mm,
It's one of those things that we have to forever look at wanting to grow, wanting to change, wanting to move forward, wanting to be better than we were the day before.
mm.
And we might put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces together, and we get to that sixth piece, and we just can't move the needle anymore
Yeah.
because we get stuck. We think we made it through the first 5 stages of growth so simple. The sixth stage has to come just as easy, and then we get stuck. When people get stuck, what's the number one thing they do? They give up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how we have to look at this. We can't give up no matter
Mm,
how long it takes.
mm. So what do we do though? I mean, we're struggling. Um, we keep trying new things. It doesn't take place. So what is your advice to that person?
My advice to that person is just regroup. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Mm,
Look back at the couple things that did work that helped you move forward the first time and maybe re-implement them back into your life, back into your daily routine. Maybe
okay.
look back at a time in your life where you were a little bit more successful, where you did have a stronger mindset, where you had more energy and more passion for life and for the world, and maybe grab some of those tools from that part of the toolbox to help get you over the hump.
Mm. All right, then how about that corporate person?
Yep.
You did the corporate gig.
Yeah. Long time.
I've done it. I'm still doing it.
Yep.
It's going well. Yeah. But how does a person in a good corporate environment, that's easy, I think.
Definitely. Definitely.
But if you're in a bad corporate environment and you feel like, man, this shit is killing my soul
Yep.
and I want to get the hell out of here.
Absolutely.
But there's no doors opening for me right now.
Yep.
What kind of mindset should that person have in those types of situations?
Man, that's a great question, and it's a hard question. When you're in that situation, when you're in the corporate world and you just feel like you're stuck, you feel like no matter what you do, you can't move ahead. Your vision's cloudy, right?
Mm, yeah.
You really can't see a bigger picture for yourself because there's no doors that are opening. The biggest thing I can say when you're in the corporate sector and you're stuck and you don't know how you're going to turn ahead is you really just have to kind of peel back the onion a little bit
Mm,
and really look back to where you began.
yeah.
What brought you that passion to that corporate job when you began? What sparked your energy inside of you to that corporate job when you began that corporate job?
Mm.
You know you want to get out, and you know someday you'll be able to, but you have to be able to have a fully adjustable and adaptable mindset in the current situation you're in to be able to change
Yeah.
whatever you need to change to keep yourself strong and happy while you're there, and realize that better times will come when the right door does open, and you can't rush the right door to open. So many people think that wonderful saying, the grass is greener on the other side, right? So
Yeah.
so many people, well, this is the first offer I've had, so I got to take it. They get out there, they're in that job for 3 or 4 months, and they're doing nothing but kicking themselves because
Yeah.
they didn't wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, you just really have to adjust yourself and adapt to whatever situation you're in until you can find that situation to pull you forward.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, it is hard. I mean, I've been in that situation and, left a situation that corporately I was just glad to get out of there. I was so glad.
Yep.
It was killing my soul,
Yeah.
and the coaching thing and starting out was the only real joy and passion I really had, and
Mhm.
especially over the last year, I would say. And so it's kind of nice to be in a position now to still enjoy that, but also have something to be in a different environment. It's still the honeymoon phase, but things are good.
Yep.
It is definitely stretching the hell out of me, but that's good as
I'm
well.
sure.
We all need to be stretched at times.
Definitely
Um,
gets you out of your comfort zone.
oh yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of great, and that
Yep.
is something too. You just hit on it. That comfort zone.
Yeah.
What does mindset play in helping us get out of that?
I love that question. Mindset plays a ton in helping you get out of your comfort zone. It's one of those situations where your comfort zone, it's there for a reason. Okay. It's there for you to fall back on. Okay. It's not there for you to stay in, because if you stay comfortable for too long, you're not going to grow.
Hmm.
Your mindset will become stagnant. Your
Okay.
energy and your passion for life will probably become dull
Yeah.
because you're sitting in the same situation. This doesn't have to be just for corporate. It could be personal life. It could be professional life. It could be whatever you're putting your heart and your soul into. But man, when you're too comfortable, it's a dangerous place to be
Yeah.
because you don't want to change and grow. You don't want to move and shake. You don't want to get up and try something different because you're in a routine.
Yeah.
That routine is Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, weekend sports with the kids, relaxing on Sunday, going back to the grind on Monday.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to change that and get outside of our comfort zone as much as possible to really help us grow as individuals, to really help our mindset adapt and adjust, and realize that our mindset, when we look at our mindset in a deeper manner, that's when we get out of our comfort zone.
Mm.
Okay. That's when we realize we want something new. We want to change something. And kind of to touch back on something that you talked about a few seconds ago, if we can, being in the corporate world and not really knowing how to get out of a certain situation, you know, to grow your mindset in that situation, to get out of that, some people really should think about just taking an opportunity and leaping with their passion. Okay.
Yeah.
Leaping with their passion to get them unstuck.
Okay.
Okay. That might not mean leaving your job, but that might mean hooking up with something outside of your job to really bring your life back to a centered place for yourself.
Think about mindset. One of the biggest, besides the belief, is the action.
Yeah.
And you think about both of our experience. We've both been involved in a coaching mastermind. This is kind of where we met.
Yep.
And it took both of us taking action.
Yes.
And it took both of us changing our mindset about
Mhm.
certain things. The
Yep.
first thing, and this is something I'll continue to harp on and I've talked about before, is the mindset of investing in yourself.
Yes.
And people are so afraid to do that. And that goes back to what you talked about earlier about failure and about perfection.
Absolutely.
And those two things is what holds so many people back.
So many.
Because you think about it, people don't realize it. You go out there, and if you own a Ford, and if you're a Ford person, you love a Mustang. I don't care if you want that F-150. And you could be a Chevrolet hater or lover and hate Ford. I don't really care.
Yep.
But the reality is, Henry Ford himself went bankrupt at least 7 times before he became successful, before he
Yep.
became a who knows how much money he ever made.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think about that.
Yeah.
How much failure, and you think about it today, you go tell somebody you went bankrupt one time, what do we think? They're going to think we're bad. We're going to have all kinds of negative thoughts in our head to have to even
Absolutely.
tell. We're going to be ashamed to tell people that.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
And to be willing to continue to pursue something like that, I wonder how many people thought he was an idiot, in the process.
I'm sure a lot. Especially back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was a totally new concept, but we
Yep.
see it with Elon Musk and some other people out there of what they started and what they do and how they're making money, and they got crazy ass ideas. He's doing shit that NASA does, and that was, they were looking for the government to foot the bill and our taxes to foot the bill for that.
Yeah.
And he's footing the bill himself. So, and trying to figure out where that's going to fit in the whole scheme of things. So,
yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So, last thing I want you to speak to, though, is a little bit about how you made that transition from the corporate world into the entrepreneurial space of, doing your coaching business, and how did mindset help you with that?
Another awesome question, man. You're bringing the heat, Miles. It's one of those things where I was in corporate and nonprofit for 27 years. And I was in nonprofit. I had a little bit of a break between corporate and nonprofit. I left the corporate world, went to nonprofit for 4 or 5 years. And then for personal reasons, I had to go back into retail. I had to go back into the higher up management of big box locations. And man, I lost my passion for it. But when I lost my passion, what I gained was the understanding of the people that were working underneath me. The understanding of the people that were coming to me every day with problems, and I was giving them the solutions.
Yeah.
It wasn't about going to work for a paycheck anymore. It wasn't about bringing fantastic new ideas to that job to make the job smoother. It was about helping my managers who were struggling with life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that really just made me realize, if I can help you and you're struggling in your personal life, guess what? Your performance at your job is going to be better because you're going to be happier. You're going to want to come in every day.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that burden of life hanging over your head if you can just talk to somebody about it. So that really made me sit down in December 2019, or I'm sorry, December 2020. That made me really sit down and be like, I don't want to go back to work anymore. I really want to dive into this coaching sector and find myself to help people like I've been doing for the last 27 years, just in a different way.
Yeah.
And just really help them ignite their passion for life and just really help them strengthen their mindset. And if you don't know what mindset is, I'm going to help you learn what it is and how to make it grow.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that my transition was tough. I was excited for it. I was building this coaching business on the side since 2017. You know what I mean? And I had so many wonderful ideas. I had notebooks full of stuff. I started throwing out short videos on Facebook. I started throwing out great quotes even before I started coaching, just because it was a passion of mine I had deep inside that I never thought I would be able to monetize. I never thought I would be able to turn into a career. I never thought I'd be able to start my own business doing this stuff. I always just thought it was going to be a side thing. I'd help people for free, or I'd help people at work. And it would just be one of those things I would do because I loved it. And then I sat down, I said to myself, I'm doing this. And I ran with it. And for the first 4 months, I struggled with it. For the first 4 months, I kicked myself. And I said, what did I do? Wow. But you know what? It's one of those things. I knew what I was doing. And I let that imposter syndrome kind of settle in. Oh my God, Trent Shelton's one of my idols. I've been watching him for the last 2 years. How am I supposed to be like him? It wasn't about being like him. It was about learning from him and growing from the things he taught me and taking off with that in my own way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my first 4 months were tough. My first 4 months, I didn't feel like giving up. I knew I wasn't going to back down, but I was really questioning whether I could make it a full-time thing for myself.
Wow.
And then that 4th month, I met Miles and I met Mitch Matthews and the mastermind that we're in.
Yeah.
And that just gave me the confidence and the direction to really turn it into exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why we resonate with each other so
Definitely.
well. Is those a similar story. I mean, I haven't had the privilege to leave the corporate world yet. So,
Yep.
but being able to do something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy, that I love, and comes natural, and that I've done all my pretty much leadership life. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I discovered coaching or late 90s, early 2000s. I remember
Uh-huh.
I was taking a coach training course in Thailand
Mhm.
over the phone in Bangkok. Okay. I was with my family and we were in Bangkok. We were doing some traveling. I lived in Thailand at that time. Did nonprofit work for 13 years there. And I was doing it mobile on the cell phone, taking a course, got the person's book, showing up for it. I mean, I was doing things like we're trying to do right now
Yep.
back then
Yep.
and learning that process and begin to implement that in my leadership and have used it the whole time in my various different leadership roles I've had over the
Awesome.
years. And so, it kind of just it comes natural and it really helps, especially too with all the training I do as well, especially
Yep.
training and developing leaders and being able to open, just the questions and listening skills and things like that you learn in the process.
Definitely. I love it.
So brother, it has been a pleasure having you.
Absolutely.
You've added tons of value, dropping gold all over the place. And man, we got to do this again sometime. We'll just pick a different topic next time.
Definitely, brother. You got it. Whenever you want it, I'm here.
Sound
I'm Miles 3. I hope this has been of value to you. Check out one of the videos above and sign up for your complimentary coaching call in the description below.